Welcome to Social Studies. Today, I'm going to read the Australopithecus article to you because it's your first article and it can be a little bit difficult. I would like you to start by actually reading the questions because at the bottom, you are going to need to answer a lot of questions about this article. So it's really good to take a look at the questions first before you even start reading so you can, as you're reading, either highlight the information or jot it down. So the first question is, what is the early human's name? What is the early human's brain size? What is the early human's height? You're going to actually need male and female. Sorry, that's not on there. And then another fact about their appearance. What dates did they live? Where did they live? And what was the climate like where they lived? You're going to need 3 facts about their shelter. Any facts about their shelter is fine. You're also going to need 3 tools that they used, including what the tool was made out of and what it was used for. This can be a little tricky for Australopithecus because they actually didn't use any made tools, but you'll find that out later. And then you're also going to need some extra facts, and what that means is any facts that were not mentioned here. So as long as you did not put the information in any of these categories above, you can use it as an extra fact. So you do need to use complete sentences in your while you're writing, and you need to restate the question too. So even though this isn't in question form, if you were going to write about the dates they live, you would say something like Australopithecus lived from, and then you'd say the 2 dates that they lived between. Okay, so we're going to start off right here. Hopefully you have your article in front of you, but you can also use this one if you need to. Australopithecus. About 3.5 million years ago, the earth was populated with deer, giraffes, hyenas, cattle, sheep, goats, antelope, gazelles, horses, elephants, rhinoceroses, camels, ground squirrels, beavers, cave lions, ants, termites, porpoises, whales, dogs with huge teeth, and saber-toothed tigers. Giant sharks, about 42 feet long, were plentiful. There were all kinds of birds and plants and fish similar to birds and plants and fish today. So the dinosaurs died out about 65 million years ago. So they were long, long, long gone when humans first started to populate Earth. So about the same time in history, actually, I'm almost positive this is wrong. I think it's 4, and I'm sorry. We do share the work here at Cooley. So each of us takes a different early human, each of the teachers, and we wrote these articles. So you know what? I'm going to bet, because I really like learning about early humans, that it was closer to 4 million. So if you happen to write 3 in your answers, I would like you to change that. So I'll read that sentence again. About the same time in history, around 4 million years ago, the higher primates, including apes and early humans, first appeared. So Australopithecus is one of the longest lived and best known early human species. Paleoanthropologists have uncovered the remains from more than 300 individuals. That's pretty amazing considering some of them are 4 million years old. This species survived for more than 900,000 years, which is over 4 times as long as our own species, the Homo sapiens. And we're actually known as the Homo sapiens, but I will get into that later. So anyway, they've been around 4 times as long as us. Australopithecus had an ape-like face with a low forehead, a bony ridge over the eyes, a flat nose, and no chin. They had protruding jaws, which means their jaws stuck out, with large back teeth. Their brain size varied from about 375 cubic centimeters to 500 cubic centimeters. This is a little bit larger than a chimp's brain, despite similar body size, but still, it wasn't advanced in the areas necessary for speech. The skull is actually similar to that of a chimpanzee, except for the more human-like teeth. Their bones show that Australopithecines were physically very strong. The females were substantially smaller than males, a condition known as sexual dimorphism. Females were on average only 3 feet tall, while males were around 4.5 feet tall. Females weighed about 50 pounds, while males weighed about 75. So there's a huge difference in size and weight. If you think about the difference between 50 pounds and 75 pounds, the males weighed one third more than the females. It's a lot. Okay, back to this. The finger and toe bones were curved and longer than modern humans, but the hands were similar to modern humans in most other details. They were the Australopithecines, they were completely bipedal, which means they used their legs to walk upright. They walked like we do right now. The climate of much of eastern and southern Africa, which is where they lived, was drying out and hot during this period. That during the period Australopithecus lived. And the forest areas were being replaced by bush and veldt land. Now, the veldt is a grassland. When you picture in your mind, like the Lion King, how they had the grass, the low-lying trees, that's the veldt land that you're seeing. Australopithecus took shelter in tall grass, under rock overhangs, but never in caves. They could not take shelter in caves because they did not have the tools to fight off the animals who lived in those caves. They did not make tools. Instead, they would use items that they found, just like we do today. I mean, we still use these exact same tools. I think probably daily because I have a little bit of land and we have chickens. I use sticks every single day as a tool in some way. Okay, so they use sticks and rocks and other things that they could find lying around. And then their hands, just like ours, were probably their best tool. They're definitely our best tool. You use them every single day to do most of what you do. So hands can be considered a tool as well for this. Sorry. Australopithecus had mainly a plant-based diet. So they would still be considered a vegan, even though you're going to see they ate some bugs and things. So they were mainly plant-based, and this included leaves and fruit, seeds, roots, nuts, and insects. Insects kind of came out of left field. That's definitely not vegan. But they did eat those, and probably the occasional small vertebrate like lizards. But we don't have evidence of that, but it's guessed, okay? It's a theory. We do have evidence of the fruit and the seeds and the roots and the nuts because we can take a look at their teeth. So paleoanthropologists can tell what Australopithecus ate by looking at the remains of their teeth. Dental microware, the studies indicate that they ate soft, sugar-rich fruits. But their tooth size and shape suggest that they could have also eaten hard, brittle foods too, probably as a fallback for foods during seasons when fruits were not available. Australopithecus would also scavenge when they could. Most animals do that eat meat, and they would eat animals which were already dead. So usually that means an animal that's been killed by another animal, and whatever's left on the bones would be eaten. You might wonder how we know anything about hominids that lived over, hold on, there we go, 4 million years ago. How do we know they even existed? Well, Lucy told us. In 1974, a skeleton was found in Africa by archaeologist Don Johansen. The bones were those of a young female who was approximately 20 years old when she died. Johansen named this young lady Lucy. And as the legend goes, when they found Lucy that night in their camp, they had a big party because it was and still is a huge discovery. And legend has it that while they were having a party, the song Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, it's not Lucy in the Sky of Diamonds. My goodness. Hold on. It's with diamonds. Okay. I'm 99% sure of that. I'm so sorry, but we're going to have to fact check that. Lucy in the Sky of Diamonds sounds really weird. So they were they're having a party. They were celebrating their huge discovery. And the Beatles song Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds came on. And someone shouted, Lucy, that's the perfect name for the hominid that we found. So they named her Lucy because of that. So about 3 million years ago, when Lucy was alive, She was rather short. She was only about 4 feet tall and probably weighed only about 50 pounds. Her brain was about the size of an orange. Her bones showed she probably walked erect, although she still had the ability to climb trees easily. There were no signs of broken bones or teeth marks that might show why she died. Scientists suspect that she probably fell into a lake or a river and drowned. Wow, that's not a very happy note to end on, but that is the end of this. So now you're going to go ahead and using complete sentences, trust me, this will be good for you to do now as opposed to later because you're going to copy this information and put it straight into your project. But this has to be done first. So go ahead and early human name. Well, the early human name is Australopithecus. What is their brain size? And so on. Okay, so you're going to need to go back in here. You can highlight the information if you want to help you. You can write it directly down here, whatever is good for you. This is due on Friday. And if you have questions, you know where to find me. I will be on the Social Studies Padlet, but this is pretty self-explanatory. Now, for those of you who are finished, I will have already graded yours, okay? So you cannot actually start on your slideshow until I have graded this and you have received a 100% on it. So do not move on. You cannot start your project until you get 100% on this. So please work on this, submit it. I will return it as soon as I can. I have tried to grade your papers tonight, those of you who are in my first period class, and I cannot access them. Every single time I click on anybody's, my computer freezes. Let's hope that's not going to keep happening. Okay, so tomorrow when I see you guys, I will check in with you about this paper. And I'll be on the Padlet. Thanks, guys.